In this video, we're going to be talking about heat pump water heaters as well as some of the newer heat pump water heaters that are coming to the market in 2024. And if you're tuning in for the first time and you aren't familiar with the topics that we cover on this channel, we primarily focus on ways that you can get the best HVAC for your home. So if you're in the market for new heating or air conditioning, or you're just looking to stay up to date on the latest in HVAC trends, consider subscribing because that's the type of content that we cover on a regular basis. And the truth is that some of the technology that we're actually going to be covering in this video is actually not new technology. It's just going to be new to us in the United States or in North America, because a lot of this has already been widely used in Europe and other markets globally. And the specific heat pumps we're talking about in this video are heat pump water heaters. Now, these don't just serve the purpose of heating water. They're actually air to water heat pumps, which means that they can heat domestic hot water for things like showers and baths, but they can also provide in-floor radiant heat like what you're used to getting from a boiler. Because they're a heat pump, they can even provide cooling via a forced air hydronic air handler. And one of the coolest things about heat pump water heaters is that some of them function in a way that you can literally take heat out of your house and use it to heat your hot water, and in the process heat your water and cool your home. And if you have ever talked to anyone that has a heat pump water in their house that is a standalone unit, meaning that it is self-contained and the compressor sits on top of the water heater, they can tell you that one of the unique and different features is that because it is a heat pump and is pulling heat from the ambient air, that the room the water heater is in, it's actually cooling down that room. They will tell you that the room that water heater is in is actually cool because of that heat pump water heater. Now, I'm not saying to put this smack dab in the middle of your living room, but if you did, it would literally cool down the living room while giving you hot water. And this is because a heat pump is just an air conditioner with a reversing valve. Now, I explained this more in depth in another video on this channel that talks about heat pumps and how they work. So if you haven't checked that out already, I will make sure to link that video at the end for your convenience. But the bottom line is that although this is not the way that standalone heat pump water heaters are designed to work, meaning they're not trying to cool down your home at the same time that they're providing you with hot water, some of the new systems that will be coming to the market in the United States this year will do something very similar, using a combination of an air to water heat pump, a hot water storage tank, as well as a forced air hydronics air handler that provides both heating and cooling in your home as well as domestic hot water. And just so you understand what's happening and how this equipment works, what I want to do now is touch briefly on the refrigeration cycle, because it is central to understanding how this technology actually works. If you have ever stood outside and put your hand over the top of your air conditioner when it is running, you'll notice that in the summer it blows hot air or hotter than ambient air. And the reason is because it's actually transferring heat from inside your home via the refrigeration circuit. And so although you might just think that your AC is blowing cold air, what it's actually doing is absorbing heat and transferring the heat inside the refrigeration circuit in your refrigeration loop. Now, in an air to water heat pump, the same thing is happening, except that heat energy can be transferred to a variety of places, because even though we want to cool down your home, for example, when the air conditioner is running, in some of the air to water heat pump applications, the heat energy that's being absorbed by your air handler will now be transferred to your hot water storage tank, so that you can literally cool down your house while you heat your hot water. And this type of operation or concept is similar to heat recovery heat pumps, which, if you're not familiar with heat recovery, it's like a regular heat pump but with an added refrigerant line, so that between multiple units you can have heating and cooling going on at the same time throughout your home. This is more common in commercial applications, which makes sense for obvious reasons, because in a hotel every room could be operating via different parameters, because some people will want to turn up the heat and others will want to turn down the AC. And in a heat recovery application, you can do both at the exact same time, because all you're doing is actually just transferring the heat to the refrigerant, and then the refrigerant is transferring heat to the other space. Now, let's talk about some of the manufacturers of these products that are available or that are going to be available soon in North America. Currently, Daikin does not have an air-to-water product in North America yet, but it should by Q3 or Q4 of this year. They have had these models overseas for years, and it is called the Daikin Altherma. They have a variety of applications that provide both high and low temperature water applications, which means that they can work in boiler applications that require hotter water temperatures, or they can work in low temperature offer applications for underfloor radiant heat as well as domestic hot water in conjunction with hydronic-based air conditioning, which simply means water-based air conditioning instead of refrigerant-based air conditioning. And this is done via a forced air hydronics air handler. And the reason that this is such a revolutionary product is because in Colorado, we get a lot of inquiries for heat pumps, and oftentimes they do make sense for people because the newer heat pumps that are on the market now that are air source heat pumps are inverter driven, and they are engineered in such a way that they work great in cold weather. And if someone told you that heat pumps don't work well in cold weather, this is just a myth and it is not true. I have a heat pump at my house and I live on a snowy mountain at 8,000 feet elevation, and it keeps up year round. Now, this may be true for older single stage equipment, but new inverter heat pumps are very efficient and can handle cold weather with ease. One of the roadblocks that we do run into though is when we have customers who call us and want to retrofit a boiler system with a heat pump. And up until now, we haven't had a lot of solutions for this because efficient electric boiler options without going to some sort of air to water heat pump or geothermal heat pump just don't make sense. And until recently, these products didn't exist in a way that they could provide meaningful heat except for in-floor radiant heat applications, because the design water temperature for radiant flooring is around 110 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and this happens to fit perfectly within the constraints of most geothermal heat pump setups, as well as low ambient air to water heat pump setups as well. However, with some of the new technology coming to North America, we will finally have a heat pump that can replace your boiler in an efficient and effective manner. And there's a few other manufacturers out there making this equipment and already have it available in North America, one of which is Enertech, and they have an air to water heat pump as well as geothermal heat pumps available, and another is Nordic. So if you are not wanting to wait until Q3 or Q4 of this year, there are already other manufacturers of these products available domestically. And if you are in the Denver metro or one of the other areas we service and you are interested in learning more about some of these products, there's actually a link in the description below where you can visit our website to either schedule or request more information and speak with a technician from our office. Now, in addition to these manufacturers, there are several other manufacturers out there like Samsung, LG, and Viessmann, just to name a few, which also have air to water heat pump products and monobloc heat pump products available in other parts of the world. And my guess is that they'll be launching these products in North America soon as well. And on that note, if you are enjoying this content so far, please make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We will be keeping you up to date as things develop, some of these newer technologies that are coming out, and we'll be putting out content on a regular basis, documenting how these products perform in real world conditions. And if you want to see some of our installations and you want to get notified as these videos come out, subscribing is a great way to do that and stay up to date on these videos as they are dropping. Now, if you are just looking for a basic water heater to replace your existing water heater and you want something that is more efficient, you don't have to wait because there are basic heat pump water heaters available that you can go buy right now. You can literally pick one up at Home Depot or Lowe's, and this will heat your hot water with a heat pump instead of an electric heating element. Now, the benefit of this that I alluded to earlier, if you happen to live in a hot climate, the water heater will be literally pulling heat out of your living space and putting it into your water. But in addition, they are much more efficient to operate by comparison with their electric counterparts. And this is because they are not directly heating the water with an electric element, but rather with a heat pump, which in layman's terms is simply much more efficient. And if you happen to be in one of the areas we service, like Denver, Colorado, or Phoenix, Arizona, you can actually schedule an appointment with us for free. We come out for free for all first-time customers, whether that's for a service call or annual maintenance, or if you're just looking for an estimate for system replacement. And there's actually a link in the description below where you can actually schedule online at your convenience, as well as an up-to-date list of the cities and states that we service, so you can stay up to date when we start servicing your metro. And as mentioned earlier, there's a few videos popping up on the screen right now, so make sure you check those out if you haven't done so already, and we will catch you on the next episode.